What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another build. We have the chain blades, the Reza chain blade, not the Reza, but the Raserwing chain blades for you guys. Basically, this build is all about speed. That's what chain blades are: speed and damage and dealing constant damage really fast with the numbers that you have. With the chain blades, they're very underrated because they actually do deal decent amount of damage, but they do it over time. That's kind of the point of it. But with this build, this is another part break build for you guys. So it's based off of Predator, Blade Storm, and a crit factor in there. So basically the Raserwing chain blades, this is what they have on them. They have +2 Blade Storm. They have +1 sharpen, which takes things down really effectively. We have endurance on this one because we want to keep our stamina up, because when you're using chain blades, you're throwing both your normal attacks and your heavies, which is your ranged. So you want to be able to have those on demand as much as possible. So we're gonna have a little bit more stamina in this build, so that's what the stamina 3 is plus. So we also have the Predator 2. What Predator does is increase damage after avoiding damage for a short amount of time. So Predator is a really solid cell to have. It's very effective and it's in a lot of meta builds right now. And what it does is just amplifies your damage even more. It's very reliable if you're skilled enough to not get hit, and that buff will just stay on you constantly until you are dealt damage. So to complement those, we have the Shreve cell. We have the Shreve lantern. The Shreve lantern gives you that 40% movement speed for 6 seconds. It also gives you 15% attack speed and movement speed for 15 seconds. That's extremely important for positioning, and it also helps you take down Behemoth by giving you more damage in. But you can also switch it to the Drask to give you 40% damage for 6 seconds, which is completely fine because it just increases your damage. You already will have a decent amount of attack speed with your cunning. You will have a decent amount of attack speed for the fact that you're actually using chain blades. But it's all about breaking those parts, and you'll break some parts really easy, especially if you're on solos. Break part very easy, very reliably. So for that, you can actually use energize on it, or wait, because that's just for your bar. You don't want to use energize. Hold on. I use etheric tuning. Etheric tunement +3. This is what helps me charge my lantern, so I can always get for the streak, I can always get that attack speed rolling, that attack speed right back. So that's what I like. You can use it also for the Drask so that you can throw more lightning bolts. I don't think lightning bolts break parts anymore. I believe they removed that. But back in the day, it used to be okay. It used to be really decent, but you're not really using it for it. But you could also just get that extra damage in, because whenever you're doing a part break build, you actually don't deal base. It starts to be less effective the more parts you break, because after you stripped it all down, you're now doing base damage. So this could help, with your attack speed. This can help with your attack speed, with just being a chain blade, using chain blades, you can actually dish out more damage. More damage to actually finish it off even faster. So every time it's up, you just use it. It'll deal 200%, oh, not 200%, but 200 damage, 200 shock damage for whatever it hits. So for whatever it hits, which is really solid, especially when you aim it right down the Behemoth, and it hits everything from its its head to its tail. You'll just see a bunch of damage there, and it's really good. And for you to actually have it over and over again, from using your attack speed and stacking it over and over again, it'll start to net you some real nice damage in the end to actually finish the Behemoth. If you're alone, that will definitely help you. Also, we're complementing that with the chest. The chest gives you +2 Blade Storm, and you also get +3 Blade Storm on there, because we're putting the +3 Blade Storm cell, which Blade Storm, if you don't know what Blade Storm does, It adds a flat amount of part damage on hit. If you dodge to an attack, it gives you 400 part damage on your next hit, which is very solid. It's very important. So we have the Reza helmet. The reason why a lot of builds involve Reza, which is why I say for people to get Reza when you're new to the game, please go and fight Reza. Have someone help you break the head and break the arms. Get as much, finish those, because the cunning is so powerful. And if you don't even get the head, the arm is really solid for builds. The head is really good, and I say those are like some of the best parts from Reza itself. So we have Predator +3 on there. It comes with +1 cunning, and it also gives you +2 energize, which is really great because it helps charge. You could always dodge with this build. You could always dodge and be safe, which is the point of actually using chain blades. Dish out damage, dish out damage, get in, get out safe, get back in. That's the point of using chain blades, and this is exactly why you want to. This is exactly why you would go with chain blades. For the safety, also you feel like a ninja, and who the hell doesn't want to feel like a ninja? Hey yo. So we have +3 cunning on the arms because it comes with +2 already, and then it gives you like having, this is the reason why the head and the arms are so good together. So it comes with +2 cunning. You put +3 on one creature, I mean on one arm, one armor piece, and with the helmet it gives you that last one, so that's 6 right there. So you put +3 on the arms. You can add it to any build as long as you put the arm and the head in there. So like if you could add it to any build as long as you have those 2 pieces, and you could just have that +3 cunning constantly on the Reza arm. So you could pretty much add it to whatever. That's why the value in Reza's arm and Reza's helmet is really good. So that gives us our cunning package to help crit, and you know that crit helps multiply the damage that we deal to break parts, which is the point of the build, to break behemoth parts. So let's go to the J's or the boots or the legs, whichever way you want to call it. It gives you +2 savagery. This is the Deadeye boots, so it gives you +2 savagery, +1 shell shock. We're not really worried about the shell shock, but we're adding Predator onto it. That savagery helps us deal damage to wounded parts. If we're actually in a party, it'll be more reliable there, but just the fact that you actually have that savagery there will help, because you're gonna deal wound damage and part damage. But the thing about it is chain blades are very good at breaking parts, very good at breaking parts. So we already have our blade storm. The reason why we have Predator on here is to round out our Predator. So Predator is very good for aggressive builds. For any aggressive build, you can pretty much put Predator in there. So the whole thing looks like this. We have +6 cunning, which gives us 10% chance to deal double damage, which is great. So 10 hits, we're using chain blades, so you're gonna be doing like a bajillion hits. You're gonna be doing like 100 hits very fast. 100 hits will fly by extremely fast. You know, percentage wise, 10 of those should actually pop. So then you have your +2 energy, +2 energize. That will help 15% weapon charge, which will help you with your Q, which lets you dodge a ridiculous amount of, and also reposition, dodge, get back in there, and things like that. Predator, if you don't get hit for 15 seconds, you get 35% damage increase, which is great for very aggressive builds. So, and you know, if you're really good at playing chain blades, or you're really good in general and good at dodging attacks, this will net you so much extra damage just for playing safe, just for being a safe player, or being really good. So blade storm, when you're dodging through attacks, you get 400 on your next attack, but you also get your 40 on hit damage. All right, so deconstruction, that'll help if you have to break something down. If you have to break something down that's made by a behemoth, it gives you 110%. That's okay. One's good enough. It just comes with the package. It's part of the package deal. You have +2 savagery, so if a part is wounded, you get 30% damage versus that part, which is that's a definite plus in my opinion. So you get shell shock, which reduces the damage and status effect durations by 10%. You have agility, which brings down the cost of actually doing your rolls, which I think that counts for your dash. Well, we're not really focused on it anyway, but if it does actually account for your dash, you minus 10%, which is great. You have plus sharpen, which is also on there, which gives you a little bit more part damage. It's only about 5% more part damage, but any extra is good. You have your endurance, which increases the maximum increases your maximum stability by 40, which will give you that extra little dodge in there. So thank you guys for jamming out with me. This is a part break build. Any recommendations for the build that I would say? Frenzy, you can do you can have frenzy, or man, I love Cowboy Bebop. I'm sorry that I love Cowboy Bebop. Anyway, so that frenzy tonic will let you deal more damage, 15% more, 30 if the behemoth is enraged. The attack speed you can get from your blitz tonic. I love blitz tonic. If you're not going to use blitz tonic, you can use the inspiration totem, which gives you more damage. You could throw it down and then dish out more damage so you can break parts a little bit easier. You can have the inferno grenade, which will help you deal break parts because it deals fire damage, and fire damage helps break parts. Another thing I would also recommend for a lot of part break builds, I always recommend Bullrog. I actually ran out but I always recommend Bullrog because you're gonna be squishy. You're always gonna be squishy with part break builds. There's not too many part break builds that I even know of that requires you not to be squishy. So abuse those, because not only are they extremely strong, but it'll keep you alive and keep you fighting so that you can actually get the parts that you need. Sometimes you get those unnecessary hits or those unnecessary damage, or you're fighting something and you just don't see what's coming through, or whether it hits you from behind or it's just like a sneak attack or some of the cheap attacks. Just like when just like when any of the dinosaur creatures swing their tail and then you dodge it and then the tail swings back, it looks like it won't actually hurt you, but then it knocks you down and it deals full damage. By the way, what's up with that? It deals full damage. You will thank yourself for actually having the Bullrog tonic on. It'll reduce that damage. So thank you guys for jamming out with me. Please be safe and careful. If you want to catch me live, you can catch me live at twitch.tv/cjballa on Twitch. Definitely check me out. You can ask, I will help you with your build. You can give me any thoughts on your builds. So I'll check you guys later. You guys please be safe and careful.